Morning.
Good morning, Vanessa. How are you today?
Good. How are you doing?
Not too bad.
Well, we got a lot to talk about. Let's start
Sure.
with our typical agronomy update, our crop progress and conditions, what you've been able to see.
Yeah, obviously the rains that we've had here lately are certainly most welcome. I think I shouldn't say a lot, but some damage has already been done on this corn. I mean, the ears were set. The rain is keeping it going now. Most everything's about doubled in size here over the last few days. So we're in good shape, getting ready to go into pollination now. We're going to need this moisture to keep coming, and it looks like it might do that. We've certainly knocked the top end off the yield potential, I think, here in Illinois at least. So it kind of remains to be seen what the effects are going to be. But yeah, ears were already set. Soybeans, still some good potential there, I think. We're starting to see a few issues show up, especially in some of the poorer soils. Saw a lot of yellowing starting to happen in some of these fields. I've heard some anecdotal reports that guys are digging some plants up, cutting into nodules and finding dead nodules on some of these hot, dry clay hillsides. So I don't know. I haven't really gotten out there myself to see that, but that's what I'm hearing anecdotally. So yeah, we'll just have to kind of see. Obviously, we haven't had too much of the really extreme heat. We haven't really had the hot nights yet, and so the somewhat cooler temperatures and the cooler temperatures that are on the way are really helping keep things at bay and buying some time for us. So we'll cross our fingers that we get good conditions going into pollination and grain fill.
Okay. Have we had any damage from the storms that we had last Thursday through the weekend of last week? Do we have any corn? We've seen some corn that got hit by the damaging winds. What were the other things I was hearing? And it's all throughout the state. It kind of varies.
Yeah. I think fairly isolated pockets. Our office is in Geneseo, Illinois, up in Henry County. A lot of our farms are in the Henry Bureau, Stark County area. Some a little bit north. Some down here to Knox County as well, and Warren. Have not heard any reports from any of my clients or tenants that we've seen any damage. I know there were some pockets, but it wasn't very widespread.
Okay. What else do we need to be preparing for? Any disease pressure that you can think of with this weather?
Don't know what the rains are going to do. A lot of concern about spider mites with the hot, dry conditions that we've had with these soybeans. Surprised we haven't really seen more issues already, but this rain, if it that we've had, and if it keeps coming, that may help keep those at bay. Other than that, now there's been kind of a question mark as to whether or not we go ahead with our fungicide plans. I think, as long as this rain continues to come, I see no reason to back off of that. If the spigot turns off again, we may need to think about that R1 or R2 application, but right now, assuming we're going to continue to have the moisture that we need, I think we stick with our plan.
Right now, the report for Monday said that 51% of our U.S. corn is rated good to excellent. Is that pretty much the shape here for Illinois?
Yeah, Illinois is a little bit. Illinois is quite a bit off of their 5-year average. The Illinois is definitely below normal. Iowa has had more rains. They've gotten moisture that we have not received on this side of the river. So Nebraska's, the three big corn producing states, Iowa, Illinois, Nebraska. Illinois and Nebraska both are worse than normal when you look at the 5-year average. Illinois quite a bit worse than normal. I think I saw something like we're I think 34% off of our normal 5-year average when you look at how much of the crop is rated good to excellent, and that's by far the worst. We've got the worst rating in the Midwest right now. So Iowa's not doing too bad. Illinois has got some struggles.
And then as far as soybeans, 50% of soybeans are called good to excellent. That's down 1% with 24% of the crop blooming compared to the 20% on average.
Yeah. I would say we're, that's lines up pretty much with what I've seen with soybean crop that's out there. We obviously have not canopied as soon as we would have liked. And that's probably going to hurt some potential a little bit, but there's still plenty of time for the soybean crop.
Let me tap into your past and previous life when you were working as an agronomist and manager out here locally at the former Monsanto, now Bayer crop, and then add that to what you've been doing with Hertz Farm Management. I want to take a look at what this year and what El Nino means for us, because I was reading about 2011, the amount of drought that occurred in the plains, part of our country, the Oklahomas, specifically Kansas. That's happening again. They're the worst in the nation right now for the drought. It makes me wonder about 2012 for us next year in 2024, or is there just no pattern that we can even look at?
Yeah, I don't know. We've had a fairly similar pattern to what we saw in 2012 this year. One of the differences is we did go into this season with pretty much a recharged moisture. The subsoil moisture was fairly well recharged. So we started off the year in pretty good shape, whereas in 2012 we actually started dry. We got planted very early in 2012 because that drought really started the previous fall, 2011. So we don't really have now. What does that mean maybe for 2024? I don't know yet. It kind of depends on how that El Nino pattern sets in. It's going to be interesting to see. Now, like I said, it looks like we're going to get some relief. We've got a long way to go to recharge the soil moisture. So if we don't get at least a somewhat normal fall and decent snowfall this winter, we could go into 24 with a deficit of subsoil moisture, and if we don't break the pattern, that could really be a concern.
Sure. Well, and we got to get, like you said, through this season. Yeah. I just was reading about Oklahoma and Nebraska and how 2011 was their main drought. Ours was 2012. So, it shifted its pattern across the river. They're having the same conditions here in 2023 as they did in 2011. Yeah. So my concern was just for what does that put the Midwest at next year? Yeah,
it's going to be interesting to see how this whether this pattern holds up or whether it breaks. We've actually up until now I haven't seen the really updated numbers, but we've had less rainfall this year than we did in 2012 in this area. Anyway.
Interesting.
But like I said, we started off the year with more moisture to begin with. So there's some variables that are different. It makes it tough to compare directly.
Well, and the plains are they have more drought than we do. They've got more wheat and more cattle producing opportunities and chickens and all that good stuff. So it is somewhat, their pattern is very different than ours.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so Hertz Farm Management, what's going on at Hertz?
So we're actually getting ready to do we do quarterly reports for our clients each year, and it's that time of year to start working on our quarterly reports. Going to be doing some fungicide applications here before too long. So just trying to get out and about to our farms, check on things, see how things are going. Meet with our clients. This is the time of year we take them on farm tours. For the ones that are interested. Putting together lime recommendations and getting lime stockpiled and just all of those things to kind of get us ready to move into the fall.
And I understand you are having a new office.
Yeah, we actually just moved in on Friday. So we were on Chicago Street for the last, 23 years? 23 years roughly. And we have now moved about a mile up north Chicago Street. We're at the corner. We're actually at 613 East Ogden Avenue now, which is straight north of where we were at. You take Chicago Street straight north of Farm and Fleet there in Geneseo all the way up to the stop sign, and we're right there on the left. On the corner of Chicago and Ogden. So nice new facility, or not new, but it's a rebuilt, built an addition on, renovated the inside, and we've got all brand new offices and getting ready to hopefully expand here in the future.
Okay, great. Well, I appreciate everything that you had to offer this morning to help our farmers and our agribusiness leaders in the community. We're hoping for a good crop. We got in, we felt good about it, and then we had that spell of no rain, but we got some rain, timely rains, So we're hoping that we're going to pull through just fine and dandy.
Yep. If it keeps coming, we'll be all right.
All right, Troy, thank you so much.
All right. Thanks, Vanessa.
Troy Coziahr with us, manager at Hertz Farm Management.